and you got to get out there and meet people, and you got to whatever, ask people for help and all that. Yes, that's important. But what I really want you to think about is, would I spend time with this person if there were no business, dream chasing, financial benefit for me?
It's really important for all of us in this metaphor to stop looking for the quick fix and the shortcut. When it comes up, sure, take it, right? Jump through that mountain, get the W. But you're gonna lose the ultimate championship if all you're doing is trying to get that mushroom at the right time.
Next Level Nation, welcome back to another very special, as always, episode of Next Level University, where we teach you how to level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. We hope you enjoyed our latest episode. It was number 1213. Would you bet on you? Today, for episode number 1214, one big piece of advice we stopped taking. So I had a lot of time to lie in bed over the last however many days and think, and I had some really good thoughts and realizations. And one of those, excuse me?
The COVID.
Yeah, the COVIDs. I still do. And my brain is foggy, so I'll apologize in advance for that. I had an interesting moment where I was thinking of another. We've done many episodes on like, this piece of advice is not what you think it is, or common sayings that are kind of jeffing you. And one of them, I believe at a deep level, is your net worth is your network, or your network is your net worth, however you want to say it. And I did a post the other day that it was something along the lines of, your network says as much about your character as it does your net worth. You know, all people are saying when they put that piece of advice out there is, the people that you surround yourself with have a large impact on the amount of money you make. Cool. I agree with that. That's definitely something that is important for success, but I think people take it way too far. Like, that's the only thing you need to do. So Alan and I, at one point, were at an event, and we took part in this event. We're on stage in this event. And there was another human being there that gave a speech, and his speech was basically how to go viral, which contextually wasn't right for the audience. It shouldn't have even been there. And at one point, he said, this is a great idea. I'll give this away for free. I'll give this to everybody for free. If you want to go viral, this is what you do. You take a piece of poop and you throw it by the camera. Throw it right by the camera. Piece of shit fly by the camera. Anybody's going to go viral. That's going to go viral for sure. Who doesn't want to see that? And I remember, I think Alan and I got up and left. We're like, I cannot censor this. This is the worst thing ever of all time. The reason I'm telling this story, and again, is this person a bad person? I don't think so. Probably not. Did this person get to that event because they were a networker and that's how they got there? Yes. Have they accomplished much of their success because they are networkers? Yes. The reason we're doing this episode is because a lot of people are going to tell you as a dream chaser that you got to spend time networking, and you got to get out there and meet people, and you got to whatever, ask people for help and all that. Yes, that's important. But what I really want you to think about is, would I spend time with this person if there were no business, dream chasing, financial benefit for me? That's a great way to put it, because this guy who's talking about throwing poop across the camera is not somebody I would hang out with on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Not even my last day. My last day on the planet I wouldn't spend with that person. I want you to check in with, are you networking with people? Are you making relationships with people that aren't necessarily aligned with you? That's an important understanding. Yes, the people you surround yourself with says a lot about you, but it also says a lot about your character. And I think that's important. And nobody ever says that. Nobody's ever once said that. It's always your net worth is your network. And I don't like that. That's not true. That's not necessarily true. It says a lot more about you than how much money you're making. It says, oh, I am the type of person that spends time with people like this. Do you want to be that? If not, this is a good episode to think about.
Well, I think one of the things to contemplate here is networking is almost like a way to take a shortcut to a new level. And I don't think that that's necessarily sustainable long term. I think it's kind of like, okay, Mario Kart 64 reference randomly here. Okay, remember the island level where
I think so.
You're going and there's sand and a beach, and then there's like this tunnel through the middle? if you get a mushroom, for reference, those who don't play Mario Kart, a mushroom is like a booster. You can like hit it and it'll boost you. There's this jump that if you get a mushroom at the right time, you can jump through the center of the mountain and you can take a shortcut that no one else can take. And here's the thing that I think networking is. Networking is kind of like that shortcut, but you still have to get good at Mario Kart because you can't count on the mushroom every time. You can't, maybe you get first place once when you get the lucky mushroom and then you network through the mountain in this analogy, but you're supposed to try to get better at Mario Kart. And in this analogy, you know, talking to Next Level University here, the community Next Level Nation, globally, we're here to get better first. Like getting better as a human being. I talked to Kevin before this episode and I said, I want to build myself. I want to build the team and I want to build the business. And that's it. That's my focus in 2023. That's it. Build self, build the team, build the business, and then build my relationship with Amelia, of course. But that's what I'm focused on. My main focus is not who I know and who I can get in the room with. My main focus is how do I, Alan Lazaros, actually get better? How do I help the team get better? How do I help build a better business for our clients and our customers and our listeners? That's the main focus. So I think networking can be a part of your repertoire. It cannot be the whole thing. You can take the shortcut through the mountain when the time comes, and you can have the relationship that makes the difference, but you can't build your entire career on that. You can't build your entire mission and your purpose on that. And I think that that's the issue is some people get so good at networking and so focused on networking that they start to just do that. And then honestly, at the tail end, they end up in this weird lukewarm middle. It's almost like networking can get you to the middle. It can't get you to the top. But what can get you to the top is actually being ridiculously good at what you do. And I like to analyze people's careers. I've been doing it my whole life. This will be the last example that I give. James Clear is, I think, a really good example of someone who focused on writing, which is his craft. He wrote a blog for 10, 13, however many years. He ended up with a manuscript for the book Atomic Habits, which was 700-page manuscript, and apparently he edited it down, and his team and producers, whatever, publishers rather, edited it down to Atomic Habits, which I think is like 300 pages. The point that I'm making, though, is James Clear went on a bunch of podcasts. When his book came out, he did what we call the rounds in the self-improvement industry, where you just kind of go on a bunch of podcasts. Some of our mentors early on had him on, and we wanted to have him on as well. But that's not, see, one person makes a crappy book, pretends it's good, got on the Amazon bestseller, quote unquote, and then does the rounds networking, versus James Clear actually built a magnificent book that is genuinely life-changing, which is the only reason I'm talking about it right now. And I'm telling you, Kevin and I have met every spectrum in between. People who are genuinely masters of their craft, who have really put in the effort to build something magnificent for people, to help people. And then other people really did just kind of party hop their way to the middle and then wonder why they're not getting to the top. And I think that it's really important for all of us in this metaphor to stop looking for the quick fix and the shortcut. When it comes up, sure, take it, right? Jump through that mountain, get the W. But you're going to lose the ultimate championship if all you're doing is trying to get that mushroom at the right time.
I like the fact that you talked about the Amazon bestseller list, because I think that's not exactly what we're talking about, but it's in the same bucket for sure. Of like that mindset of I'm going to do the thing that makes me look the best, not be the best.
Right.
That. I was on a show today, and it was a great question that this host asked, and I've never been asked this before, so I gave an interesting answer. She said, "What was it like for you to find out? What was it like for you when you found out that you had a top 100 podcast?" And I was like, I said it's interesting. I said it's interesting because two things happened. One, it doesn't matter nearly as much as you think it does. It looks really good in a bio, and it looks really good when you introduce me, but if we didn't have the business set up in a great way, we wouldn't have made any more money, most likely. Because I know other people that have been on the top of the charts, it doesn't matter at all. I said, it looks really good and I'm grateful. And yeah, maybe it is it is a representation of, I'll say success. It's a representation of success. But the problem is a lot of people stop and then they use that as everything. It's like, well, I have a top 100 show. Yeah, are you getting any better now though? You don't even do any episodes anymore. It's not a top 100 show anymore, right? Like we're on the charts right now. Today we're on charts across the world. Great. But I said, it's not as big of a deal as you think. Just like, and I said, go Google what it takes to make an Amazon best-selling book. It's laughable. It is laughable because that is kind of networking in this example. Last thing I'll say, I watched this guy on YouTube, Alan, and his thing, he has a channel all about entrepreneur cons, and how people are like, sign up to my webinar and at the end, you're going to get $5 million worth of value for free. And they try to sell you and all this. And he literally made a book.
6-pack abs with little effort and 5 easy payments. Yeah, man.
He literally made a book like that. And I swear to you, the pages were blank. He didn't put anything in the book. Nothing. He made a really nice cover and a really nice back. And he didn't put anything in it. Put it up, send it out to Amazon to get it approved. They're like, hell yeah, it's approved. He did this on purpose to prove it. He messaged all of his friends on LinkedIn and said, hey, can you download this book for free and leave it a 5-star review? And they're like, why? And he's like, I'm doing like an experiment. I want to show people that this is how it works. And they're like, yeah, okay. He got an Amazon best-selling book in whatever category. It didn't have a word in it. No words. Zero. There's no words. And he literally was like, all right, cool. Now I can add that to my resume. I have an Amazon best-selling book, even though it doesn't have anything in it. Whatever that is, you got to be very careful about that stuff because, again, I'm grateful we have a top 100 podcast, sure. But it doesn't mean that we're the best in the world yet and that we can stop getting better. More importantly, it doesn't mean that's the end. Like if that's the end of it, if that is the mountain in our case, you're in a lot of trouble because that means you're not getting any better. And I would put that into this bucket where you just got to be very careful the advice people give you. Because in a weird way, a lot of people are going to give you the shortcut advice because that's what they know. And they can't give you advice that they haven't taken themselves. You got to be very, very careful. I said that to somebody today. I said to these people, look, you got to understand at the end of the day, everybody coaches in the way they found success. That's just how coaching works. I said, I have a belief that I can coach you better because it took me longer to get success. 1,200 episodes, I'm still not at the level of some of these other people. I know why I'm not. It's not because I don't know as much. It's because I'm not willing to do things in the way that maybe they did. That's all. It's okay. I have nothing against that. I believe that that's more valuable because although we have the X amount of dollars a year, although we have the top 100 podcasts, whatever, although I went on all these shows, Alan has clients, all this stuff, it's not the top for us. It's not the end. It's not the end. It's not the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. There's so much more that goes into that. So, yeah.
Next Level University and Kevin is exactly where you need to be if you're a podcaster. When I first started out just a few months ago, I had no clue on the direction I was going. I was getting hustled by another company that was giving me not even close to the value that Kevin and Next Level U was giving me. They literally changed the trajectory of my podcast, have helped me out tremendously. They understand the clients. I promise you, you will not go wrong with dealing with Kevin and Next Level U. I'll see you there.
Well, you can only, again, to the same Mario Kart analogy, you can only get lucky with that mushroom at the right time every now and then. If you can't get to I think you can get reasonably successful with shortcuts. I do. I think you can get reasonably successful. I don't think you can get super successful. And by the way, the most important piece of this episode, and I want to share this with everyone, you're not going to be fulfilled. Empty success, like that empty book, is not fulfilling. Yeah, okay, throw a bumper sticker on your car that says Amazon best-selling author and maybe you get XYZ, whatever. You're not, deep down that you're full of shit. And that can't fulfill you. It can't. There's something about that. There's the false life and the real life I've talked about. Last story. 6 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock, Kev, by the way, because I know we hit record a lot earlier this time on StreamYard. Okay, Kevin and I are at an event. And actually, Kevin, Bianca, Emilia, and myself are at an event. Very first words out of this event's opening day was business is about making money, period. And I was like, oh no. If that's the case, go sell cigarettes. That's not true. Businesses have to make money, but that's not the purpose. The purpose of NLU is not to make money. If that was the case, trust me, we would not have gone into this industry. We'd be selling something much more omnipresent, much more lucrative. The self-improvement industry is very difficult to make money in, especially if you're in integrity like us. That's the thing. When you're not trying to hoodwink anyone, you're actually trying to help people improve. It's actually really quite difficult. Honestly, that's been alarming for me as a business owner. But that's my point, is not only was the very first thing they said inaccurate, because the purpose of a business is positive impact. Making money is a byproduct of positive impact. If we impact 700,000 people across the world in a positive way, a percentage of those people will pay for our services to impact them even more, which will generate revenue, which will allow us to go impact even more people. Right? No one gives out iPhones for free. The iPhone impacts your life and you pay for it. It's supposed to be an altruistic money machine. That's my business theory. I believe business is innovate something in a new way, impact people in a positive way, and then make money doing it, and then reinvest that money to make it even better and impact even more people. And I think it's a altruistic snowball that can really grow. Here's my point. Fast forward. This event is brutal. And we're like, at this point, we're going to the beach instead of the event. And we just masterminding, and that actually ended up being really valuable in hindsight. But there's this one part of I think the first day, because that's the only day we really went, where the person on stage is saying, oh, the other day I interviewed an astronaut. I interviewed an astronaut on my podcast, and oh my God, it was incredible. Awesome. The way that she made it sound, and again, I don't want to pick on this person, okay, but it is something that's true. She made it sound like she has this big global show where she interviews astronauts regularly and Olympic athletes and all that kind of stuff. She made it sound like the coolest thing in the world. And for those of you who are not in the podcasting space, you wouldn't really know. You'd just be like, oh wow, she interviews astronauts? Like, that's unbelievable. We went and we looked up the show because we have to know behind the scenes. We want to pull back the curtain on the truth because we know how many people are renting cars and taking pictures in front of it. That kind of thing, this metaphor, especially in this industry. And so we looked it up, and it had, I think, 4 reviews, and I think it had like 4 episodes, and I think it was pretty much a nothing podcast. But the way she made it sound on stage was like she's a podcaster, like she's a professional, and like she interviews astronauts on the reg. That's the way she made it sound. And this person's career, in my opinion, is built on quite a bit of perception and status. It's not nearly as built on actual business acumen. And that's my perspective. Again, our listeners at NLU, we want to do you a service. We want to help you with something. If you want to be fulfilled and you want to be successful in your real life, just understand that the large majority of people are playing this game. No one's 100% marketing and then 0% self-improvement. Usually it's somewhere in the middle. Some people are 80-20, some people are 50-50, some people are 80-20 the other way. Kevin and I market too. We have to brand too. We still put top 100 podcasts in our bio. So that's a part of building a business and building a brand. I understand that. But if it's all smoke and mirrors, if it's all mushrooms at the right moment to get a shortcut through the mountain, if it's all that, you cannot win there. It's a short-term win for a long-term loss, and that will always lead you to regret. And so that's what we want to help you with is hopefully you can play the real life, the real game in the real way and actually get better, because that's what's going to fill you up, and that's what's going to help you help other people and be real leaders in the real world.
I had a client who was a multi-time best-selling author. And I talked to this, like, they lost money on their books. They didn't make any money. And this is also the type of person that would share like, oh, I got, my podcast got voted the #1 podcast on this, whatever it was. And like, did they pay for that? I don't know. I know we get the opportunity to pay for those all the time. We don't do it. But just, I know behind the scenes, this person couldn't afford to pay the bills. So it's like, this is the big takeaway for me. if you focus more on being the type of person somebody would want to network with than network with other people, you'll be more successful. That's my jam. That's my
long term, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And that's our goal, Kev, and that is flipping, which is nice. And I would love to do an episode maybe at some point about that perspective. But like when you do actually put in the real work long enough, you do have these people trying to knock down your door now. And you and I both are experiencing that, which is really interesting to see the tables turn in that. But that's for another episode, another time.
Yeah. And I know this was a little bit of a different episode in terms of like maybe the energy behind it, but I don't know. Alan and I we've been not taken advantage of, but this has been used against us a lot. And the last thing I want you to do is get into self-improvement and then get thrown off course by buying into something that isn't real or whatever. That's really our goal is awareness, helping you raise your awareness so you can get better results out of life. And when it comes to something like this, I think this is an important place to look into awareness as well. Next level, Nation. I am going to be talking about this from here until the event because this is one of the biggest things we do on the yearly basis. So we are doing a live event, April 1st, 2023, Worcester, Massachusetts, you and 49 other people. So we're only doing 50 people at this event. And I want you to think of it as kind of a large group coaching situation. It's not just going to be Alan and I on stage talking to you, talking at you. It's going to be an experience. That's the best way to explain it. You will leave with friends and you will leave with new awareness, but I want you to leave feeling like you had an experience that you never expected to have. That is our ultimate goal. Tickets are only $97. If you're local, please join us. If you got to travel, it's a good excuse to travel. Everything you need to know is in the show notes below.
Also, I want everyone to know that this is a great fear-chasing opportunity. If you are scared to go to an event, you want to dip your toe in first. I remember Kevin going to his first event. He was very, very scared. It ended up being one of the best experiences of his life. I really believe that will be the case for you too. You're not going to necessarily be so pumped to go because I know it can be uncomfortable at networking events. And again, networking event is the wrong thing. An experience, an immersive experience, transformational. But I promise you're going to be glad that you went. And that's really the goal, right? So this is an opportunity to fear chase. Check it out. These episodes are like listening to the song on Spotify. That is the concert. You will be glad that you went. Also, we have a free course on the website. It's called The Next Level 5 to Thrive. And it's all fundamentals. No fluff, no smoke and mirrors, all fundamentals of what actually got us here. Number 1, clarity. Number 2, commitment. Number 3, consistency. Number 4, community. And number 5, confidence.
Nice.
I was on the phone earlier with a client who's struggling with confidence. I've been helping him with that a lot. That course is powerful. There are 5 worksheets, 5 modules. Take that course. It's a little bit of a deeper dive than this podcast. And again, it's free, so there's no downside.
Next Level Nation tomorrow for episode number 1215. What's stopping you from letting go? This is just a theme that has been popping up for me, so I figured I would share it with you all because why not? As always, we love you, appreciate you, grateful for each and every one of you. And at NLU, we do not have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
And we'll see you at the next level.